Hey everyone, it's Brian here. I'm Awake Are You? And if you're awake, you're watching the signs, and the signs are telling us that Jesus is about to come back. It's pretty obvious. I mean, it doesn't take much to look into Bible prophecy that's on the scriptures, on the pages of scriptures, and look in the articles of the news every day, what's on our phones and tablets, iPads, and on our television sets, and say, hey, the Bible talked about this. This was just reported on. What would that be? How about Iran, ancient Persia? How about United States and Israel about to attack her right now? How about that whole conflict going on right there? Is Iran mentioned in scriptures? Is Persia mentioned in scriptures in the last days? Yes, it is. Is Syria mentioned in scriptures? Israel's bombing Syria every day. Soon Damascus will be taken out. I think it's very soon. There'll be a lot of earthquakes. There'll be weird weather. There'll be wars and rumors of wars. How about the Pakistan and India war right now? How about that? That's a new one. That's a big one. We're going to look at this today. We're going to look at some articles about what's pointing to this. And before I get started, I got a couple of announcements. First, Jason K, Truth Seekers, John 14:6. I'm going to be on his channel tonight doing a podcast with him and some other watchmen and watchwomen at 7 o'clock California time, 10 o'clock East Coast time here in the U.S. So Jason K, Truth Seekers, John 14:6 is going to have a live podcast tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific Coast time. And I'm going to be on there with him and several others. So I'm really looking forward to it. I want to thank Jason for inviting me on. It's a privilege to go on with all these guys and these gals that are watchers in these last days, blowing the shofar from the wall. We are the modern watchers on the wall, the modern day prophets of not foretelling things to happen, but warning people. See, the prophets didn't just foretell things that were going to happen in the future. They were warners. They would warn Israel about things that they needed to change, or God was going to do certain things, or warn about enemies about to attack them. Well, we're warning the church world, we're warning the physical unsaved world, judgment's coming for them. And we're also letting the church know that Jesus is almost here. That's what we're doing. That's our job. And I'm gonna be on tonight with these guys, and I think some ladies, or at least one's going to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you can make it tonight. The other announcement is Saturday, the 10th of May at 8 o'clock Pacific time, which is my time in California, in the morning, going to do a live podcast. I haven't done one for a few weeks, so I'm looking forward to doing this this Saturday. And we're just going to talk about whatever's going on in the world. And there's a lot going on in the world. Who knows what's going to happen between now and Saturday? I have no idea. I mean, who knows? There's things happening very, very, very fast. I mean, a lot's been happening, obviously, in the last, say since 2020. That was the 2020, okay? We know what that was, right? And a lot of Bible prophecy was going on before that. But since then, the last 5 years, it's escalated even more. And maybe it's just me, but in the last month, things have really amped up with the signs about the tribulation about to start. Who's the new pope going to be? Is he going to be the false prophet? Who knows? I don't know. I'm not making a prediction there. But we lost, one pope just died, and now another one's about to be chosen. We got, and all this other stuff going on in the world. Come on. It's just, it's chaos everywhere in this world, and it's increasing every day. It's just incredible how fast things can change. And matter of fact, how fast things are going to change? In the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, we are going to go from this body to a glorified body in a twinkling of an eye. That's fast change. We're going to go from this earth to heaven in a moment. We're going to go from this to a glorified eternal body flying through the atmosphere to our Lord in the sky at any moment. That's a fast change. At the same time that happens, all hell's going to break loose on this earth. Sudden destruction It's going to be a fast change. We're going to be changed, and the physical world left behind is going to change quickly. You think it's changing fast now? Wait till we're gone. It's going to be unbelievable events. You want to see what those events are? Read chapter 6 through 18 of the book of Revelation. That'll give you a hint. And those of you who don't know the Lord, you haven't asked Jesus in your life, you don't believe that, actually you need to believe. You don't believe in him right now, but you need to believe that he died, buried, and rose from the grave on the third day. His sacrifice on the cross, his blood sacrifice, his body, the communion we celebrate in our churches, the blood and the body, that sacrifice, you need to believe he did that for you, that you're a sinner, that you need forgiveness of sins, and it's only through our Lord Jesus Christ. You need to ask him, confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, you shall be saved. You need to do that now before it's too late. It's not by works that any man should boast. Ephesians 2, 8, and 9. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, whoever believeth him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Believe in him before it's too late, because the time of Jacob's trouble, the 7th week of Daniel, is about to start at any moment, and it's going to be horrific. And if you are not saved, and we get raptured, and you come across this video, you need to get saved. And the other thing I would say to you, if you do get saved during that time, and you're watching this video, if you want to know what's going to happen to the earth in chronological order, start at Revelation 16. It's chronological judgments. 21 judgments will chronologically in sensation happen. You'll be able to follow what's going to come next. But I pray you don't have to do that. I pray you go with us now. Everything's pointing to this. Everything is pointing. And we're going to look at some passages right now, some articles, that just the stuff that's going on to just reiterate. I can't use my words today. Brian, use your words. We're going to look at some articles that talk about this. There we go. Gosh. Okay. This is on IsraelNationNews.com. Trump, Iran must blow up nukes peacefully or by force. This, here we go. President Trump warns Iran to dismantle its nuclear program voluntarily or face destruction, saying that the regime must blow them up nicely or will blow them up viciously. Everything's coming to a head. You got what's going on in India and Pakistan. China is threatening to take Taiwan, and nobody can stop them. They've threatened that. Ukraine, Russia. Let's look at another one here. We're just going to go down the list, not in any particular order, okay? This is on weather.com. Toxic bloom killing sea life along California coast. This has been reported on before, but it's gotten worse. Rescue centers are overwhelmed as animals wash ashore, victims of the fast-growing toxic fueled by warming waters and pollution. Warming waters and pollution. Take out the last word there, warming waters. What's happening to our oceans? There are 79 active volcanoes right now on the surface of the earth. There's hundreds, if not at least 2,000. I read a while ago, maybe a year ago, I did a podcast on this. 2,000 active volcanoes under the oceans. Cracks are opening up on the ocean floor. What's coming out of those things? Sulfur, superheated steam, and who knows what else. You think that's good for the fish? You're going to hear more and more as we go on in time here, if the rapture doesn't happen soon, which I believe can happen any day, of weird creatures washing up on the shores of our beaches that we've never seen before, or that live in so deep of water that they've never been on the surface before. Some of these creatures live at the bottom of our oceans, thousands of feet down. How they live there, I have no idea, but that's where they live. And they're going to be, and more, and it's been happening already, are coming up to the surface. What's forcing them up off the bottom of the ocean? That's the question you need to ask. Is it pollution? Is pollution doing that? Or superheated water? Toxic water? Toxic algae blooms? Toxic, this is the same subject, same article. Toxic algae blooms along the California coast have been a problem off and on for the past 4 years. But what's been happening in recent months is unprecedented. This is now one of the largest harmful algae blooms ever recorded in this region and has led to thousands of marine animals and birds becoming sick or dying in recent months. This is just off the coast where I live. What's causing it? This is just one issue on the earth of many issues. The bees are disappearing. Why are the bees disappearing? Why are all the flashing lights all over the country on Mr. MBB 333? Why? What's causing it? What's causing all this stuff? You notice, I watch Fox, I watch different stations, and what they don't say says more to me than what they do say. Watched Fox last night. They didn't bring any of this up. They didn't even, Jesse Waters didn't even talk about the Indian-Pakistani conflict. Never came up. It was all about politics. I'm sitting there watching this, telling my wife, I go, this says a load of things. This is so obvious they're not talking about it. The elephant in the room. And I'm going to look at an article. Why is this the elephant in the room? Because they're nuclear powers. They're huge countries. India's got an army of 1.2 million, and I think Pakistan's 700 to 800,000. And they're putting all their troops on their borders. They're going back and forth. They're firing at each other as I speak. But this isn't brought up. Why? Because they don't want you to worry about it. They're not going to tell you. Hey, there could be an asteroid like in Bruce Willis, Armageddon, that's the size of Texas. It could be literally in our atmosphere, and we can see it burning in our atmosphere. And they're going to say, hey, nothing to see here. Boy, did you guys see that Super Bowl? Wasn't that a good game? But this thing's burning in our atmosphere, and nobody's saying a thing about it. The whole block is on fire, and they're saying nothing to see here, and they're going to do that. That's why you got to be diligent and do your own research to find out what's really going on. And what's going on? Deception's going on. Spinning things is going on. Lying is going on. Not saying something is just as bad as saying something that's false, but not saying something that's real. And that's what's going on. They're not going to tell you there's a binary system in our solar system. They're not going to tell you that. Well, Brian, I don't see that anywhere on the news because they're not going to say anything to you. You got to do research and dig. And you got to look what's happening on the earth and with our sun in the sky. What's causing all this stuff? That's the questions you need to ask. And the biggest question you need to ask is, how come our Lord's not back yet? Is he late? He's running, see, yeah, he's right. He seems running a little late to me. But he's not. His timing is perfect. And soon, all these events are pointing to one huge event for the church, the rapture. That's what these things are pointing to for us. Because we know the tribulation is about to start. How close is the rapture? It's very close. Very close. I can't even state that. I mean, that's an understatement. It's like, it's unbelievable. This is another one. Just going, like I said, going on a list, not in any order. This is on JerusalemPost.com. U.S. officials, if Israel doesn't wake up, U.S. will advance Saudi deal without it. So if Israel doesn't wake up and start making deals like with Saudi Arabia, Trump and the United States is going to do it anyway. That's not going to go good. That's not going to go good you don't want to do that. The officials said that Trump is growing frustrated with Israel's approach and that he intends to push on with the deal regardless of Israel's position. This is on the JP newsletter, Jerusalem Post. You don't mess with God's people, Israel. If you bless Israel, God will bless you. You curse Israel, it's not going to go good for you. I'm not saying this is a curse to Israel. I'm not saying this. But I'm just saying to leave Israel out is not a good idea. This is on spaceweather.com. Spaceweather.com news. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go to this article. It's just, here we go. Yeah. See if I can find this. Maybe this is not the one. Nope, not the one. Let's see. Yeah, where's this article? Oh, here it is. Sorry. I read this article this morning, and I downloaded it to my iPad, and it looked different than what I read this morning, but it's the same thing. This is on spaceweather.com. You've probably heard of the 11-year sunspot cycle. The Glassberg cycle is a slower modulation which suppresses sunspot numbers every 80 to 100 years. For the past 15 years, the sun has been near a low point in the cycle, but this is about to change. New research published in the Journal of Space Weather suggests that the Glassberg cycle is waking up again. If this is true, solar cycles for the next 50 years could become increasingly intense. They're already intense now. It may not be affecting you where you live, exactly where you live, but haven't the summers been hotter? Haven't the winters been colder? Haven't the weather been weird and more weird, and the hurricanes been more intense? What do you think? What do you think? I know you guys know this. I'm not the choir here. I'm preaching to it, but this is manipulating our weather, and it's going to get worse for 50 more years. If this is true, solar cycle 15 years could become increasingly intense. We have been looking at portions of the South Atlantic anomaly, explains the paper's lead author. Atmospheric studies at the University of Colorado. These are particles from the sun that come unusually close to Earth because of the planet's magnetic shield is weak over the South Atlantic Ocean. Hear that? Magnetic field that protects us from the sun is weak over the South Atlantic Ocean. The Earth is wearing out like an old garment. All the articles I just read before this, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia making an agreement with the U.S. and all these other stuff, just name it. And at the same time in human history, you got this with going on with the sun. Is that a coincidence? I think it's Revelation 16 off the top of my head. Men are scorched with heat from the sun. Could that happen? Really happen? Where you're standing outside and the sun is so intense it burns you? Could that happen? Yeah, it sure can. Yes, it can, and it will, and it's going to happen. During the tribulation, it's going to get bad. And we're right there at the door of the tribulation. So, the rapture is any moment. I mean, this is watchersnews.com. Severe storms leave 1 dead, cause widespread flooding across Texas. Watchersnews.com again. Flash flooding in Las Vegas leaves man missing in storm breaks rainfall records. All these storms are making records. This one I'm going to open up. Yeah, this is the last one. There it goes. This is on the economic collapse. Who's going to use nuclear weapons first? Question mark. Will we soon witness the world's first nuclear war following a nuclear-armed India attack on nuclear-armed Pakistan? Media outlets all over the globe quickly published stories about the possibility of nuclear war. In fact, this morning, the main headline in the Drudge report was "World Holds Breath" in all capital letters. Yes, it is entirely possible that a nuclear war could erupt between India and Pakistan. Will someone else use nuclear weapons first? This is a powder keg. This is a powder keg. The world is just on the brink of losing it completely. We could see a nuclear terrorist attack in the U.S. or somewhere in the world. We could see Russia use a small nuke, tactical nukes they call them, to take out a few cities in Ukraine to make them finally give up. Or we can see India and Pakistan exchange nuclear weapons with each other. It doesn't mean we're always taught we have to see a total global nuclear conflict that wipes out humanity. That's going to happen. But it's not going to wipe out humanity completely, because there has to be humanity left for the Antichrist to lead. So there's going to be a nuclear conflict, but it's not going to wipe the whole world out, because Jesus won't allow that, because he's the one that's going to come back at the end of the 7-year trib, defeat the armies of the world and set up his kingdom. There have to be armies to defeat when he comes back. But there's going to be nuclear conflict before that. All the green grass is burned up. Sounds like a nuclear blast to me. Old Testament, men's tongues melt out of their eyes, mouth. Their eyes melt out. I mean, it describes a nuclear blast. So it's going to happen. Definitely going to happen. Could we see it before the rapture? Could we see nuclear conflict? Not Armageddon. Get me just right off the bat. Just I'm going to be straight about this. Not Armageddon of the whole world. But could we see nuclear conflict before the rapture? And my answer is yes. We could wake up one morning and India nuked Pakistan, or vice versa, took out one of their major cities. They're not lobbing them back and forth, not a whole world. But could that happen? Yes. Could we see them totally annihilate each other? Possibly. Maybe not, but possibly. I think more likely limited strikes on certain cities or military installations. Could we see that happen in Ukraine? 100%. We could see all this. You start to see nukes flying around. We're not long for this world. I mean, not because of a nuke, because Jesus is going to take us away before he gets totally chaos. Does this seem like a stable planet? Does it seem stable? Does the atmosphere, the heavens seem stable? Does the sun seem stable? Do people seem stable? But, overall, not everybody, obviously, is unstable. Do the countries seem like they got it together and their people are all stable? The economy seems stable? Does that seem stable to you? Does it seem like, the countries would never use nuclear weapons? Everybody's rational adult and would never do that? Does this seem like they're stable? That would never happen? Everything is unstable. Everything is on rocky ground. Everything is teetering on the verge of an apocalypse. But before the real apocalypse comes, the tribulation, we are just beamed off this planet by the power of God in glorified bodies. The only thing stable right now in this world, 100%, is Jesus Christ and him crucified. He holds all things together by the word of his power. He's the only stable thing in this universe. Because if he wasn't stable, we wouldn't be here. If he wasn't a rock, we wouldn't be here. If he wasn't in charge, we wouldn't be here, because man would have taken man out already. But he's not going to allow man to do that, because guess who's in charge? Jesus is in charge. Guess who takes the scroll out of the Father's right hand in heaven? Comes from behind the curtain, as I say, takes the scroll out of his hand. Who's the only one to take that scroll? Who's the only one to break the seals, to start the tribulation? Who is he? He's a lamb as though he's been slaughtered. He bears the scars of crucifixion. Everybody sees him in Revelation 4 and 5, because we watch this in real time. We're about to see this in real time, because after the rapture, we're taken there and we're standing in this throne room in Revelation 4 and 5. All you believers that are watching this, we're going to be standing here watching him perform that. He takes that scroll out, he breaks his seals, the tribulation starts. He's the one that's stable. If you're in Jesus today and you believe him and ask him to come in your heart and your life, as your Savior and you're born again, you're on stable ground. You're on solid rock. And nothing can shake you. Nothing can shake you because it can't shake him. It's not going to shake you. And soon, he said when he left, he'd go away to prepare a place for us. Those places are almost done. They're painting them. They're getting the final inspection. They're done. The landscaping's done. You're about to receive, even though we don't have a key, you're about to receive the key to your mansion. We don't need keys in heaven because we don't need locks on our doors. But you're about to receive your home. It's going to be a physical home. Let me just get this straight out there. This is not made up. This is not a fantasy. This isn't just to say something, make you feel better. I don't care where you live on this planet. It doesn't matter. As a born-again believer, you're going to have a physical place to live. There are no homeless in heaven. There's no missions to feed the homeless in heaven. There's nobody sleeping in tents on the sidewalks in heaven. You're going to have a home. And whatever home it is, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be exactly what you want. Because God knows what you need more than you know what you need. So when you receive your home, it's going to be perfect. You're not going to walk in and say, wow, this is really great, but I might change the drapes. I really love this place, but I might change the color of the bedroom or the living room. Man, the kitchen's awesome, but I wanted granite countertops. So you might change that out. No. It's going to be exactly what you want because God is building it for you. It's a physical, you're going to live in a physical place in a physical glorified body. You're not Casper the Ghost floating around heaven. You got a physical body. You're going to be living in a physical home. And it's going to be made of the material that heaven has. Down here we have trees, we have concrete, we have rebar, we have, different things. We have vinyl windows and all that kind of stuff. Now, what's the building blocks of heaven? Let's see. Well, first of all, the streets are made of gold. So what's the homes made of? If the streets made of gold, what are the homes made of? Pearls, diamonds, emeralds, material we don't even know yet that are not on our table here. Periodic table. Maybe it's a wood that we've never seen before. No eye has seen or ear has heard or come into the thought of man what God's prepared for them. What has he prepared for us? All those homes I'm talking about, I'm getting into this because some of you might not have a home. Some of you might be able to bear, you can't even pay rent. You might be getting kicked out. Or you're just paycheck to paycheck just to keep the home you got, rent or buy. Or some of you might have beautiful mansions. But whatever you have, whatever this world can build, is nothing compared to what is being built for us. And all that's going on in the earth, everything's converging right now at the same time. It's a convergence of Bible prophecy, and soon all the Bible prophecies are converge to one moment. They're about to touch each other, and they're going to converge, and boom, we're gone. That last person saved, we're gone, and all the prophecies have converged at the same time. We're gone. Because that person got saved, the events in the world all converge, and then the Antichrist comes on the scene, starts a tribulation, and we're already in heaven at the throne of God, watching the seals being broke and untied off the scroll, taken from him who sits on the throne. Everybody knows who him is. He doesn't have to be introduced. Wow. All this, everything I just said, it can happen right now. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen any moment. And everything's pointing to it. Everything I just read is pointing to the earth is converging to a point where it's just something's going to give. But we're gone. We're gone before it's going to give. Nuclear war is about to happen. The sun, the moon, the stars, the signs are everywhere. And I implore you, if you don't know Jesus, you need to get on the boat, because this isn't just some crazy guy. If you're unsaved out there, look up the Bible prophecies about the end times. Go on your phone and look them up, and look up scriptures that talk about this. Go to Daniel chapter 9. Go do some research. It's obvious. And to believers out there, and you just might have came to this channel by accident, it just popped up on your phone or whatever. and you haven't been really following Bible prophecy, and he'll come back when he comes back, you're missing out on the crown of righteousness. All those who are loving his appearing, 2 Timothy 4:8. Our blessed hope, Titus 2:13, is about to show up. Why wouldn't you want to be excited? Well, I don't want to get too excited because if he doesn't come this year, or he doesn't come in May, because I hear a lot May 14th or 15th, I'm not that's fine. I have my ideas when you think he can come, but I don't know for sure. I have no idea. I just know what the signs are telling me. The signs are telling me, like on a highway, I-5. I drive I-5 from SoCal to Oregon to visit my family. You see, and through Redding, and before you get to Redding, once you get past Sacramento, it's just flat and dry. And there's rest stops, and there's Carl's Jr.'s and places to get gas and food. And you're driving along, and you're thinking, man, I'm hungry. You see the sign, food, 5 miles. Bathrooms and food, 4 miles. Rest stop, 3 miles. Burger King, Carl's Jr., McDonald's, whatever it is, 2 miles. And you're seeing these signs. So, because you're hungry and you're tired, and you want to take a break from the long drive, the kids are in the back driving you crazy because it's just a long drive. But they put signs out there to tell you in a certain amount of distance, you're going to have a rest. The signs are telling us how close we are. The exit, our exit is coming up. And the signs are telling us the next exit, you can finally have rest, saints. You can finally get rest. No more worrying. No more of this stuff. You'll finally be in a place where you were made to be in. And it'll feel good. Because you'll finally be at rest. We're almost at the exit. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you in the clouds. It's your brother Brian out. Bye-bye.